At the University of Regina, the Equity, Diversity and Inclusion Digital Resource Hub showcases impactful EDI initiatives across the campus.
It's a centralized, accessible resource for our community and post-secondary institutions nationally.
Join us to hear the stories behind the initiatives shaping our campus.
Okay, so my ARMS project, or the full name is Academic Research Made Simple, podcast project. My specific focus was on racialized researchers and racialized research. So on one hand, highlighting the work that has been, or the research that has been conducted by racialized researchers all over the University of Regina, irrespective of faculty or department, but also work that is being done using data on a racialized group or in collaboration with a racialized group. So that was the focus of the ARMS podcast. The podcast videos that have been recorded so far, the goal was to have conversation with each researcher to highlight different components of their research, to highlight what problem it is that you're trying to ultimately find more information about and suggest recommendations for change or for improvement. And so talking about the problem, talking about some of the context or background around each problem, a bit about their methodology, how they're going about answering their research questions, and ultimately what they hope to achieve from the research. So that was sort of the line of questioning that I had in interacting with each researcher. And I had conversations with researchers from the departments of biology, psychology, Johnson Shoyama Graduate School of Public Policy, and education. I would say there is a target group, but it's also meant for a broader audience to also see and appreciate and support the work that is being done either by racialized researchers or about racialized group. And so I would say, yes, it was targeted on one hand, sort of to provide inspiration for people who do not fall within the majority group or class within Canada and even beyond, to be able to see that, hey, there's a Black or a brown researcher conducting research here. I could also do that, so that could be inspirational for them. Or they may see a topic that is about them. They can see themselves in it because of, by virtue of them being racialized, and say, oh, this is inspiring that someone has actually thought about us enough to be able to conduct research on us, even though we are a minority group. And so these are two reasons why I wanted to highlight this. What was shared on the podcast, which is available on the University of Regina main YouTube page, I found that diversity, even among racialized groups, even among Black people, even among other groups of racialized people, there's still diversity, and that's part of what was also highlighted, because there's an intersectionality piece even within, because sometimes when people think of one racialized group of people, sometimes they think that they're the same, but there's diversity even within different groups of people, in terms of the challenges, in terms of their worldviews, in terms of how to think of how their lived experiences are. And so even within different groups of racialized people, the diversity that was highlighted within those interviews, I thought was very noteworthy. I would say I'm quite impressed with the focus on equity, diversity, and inclusion at the University of Regina. I have personally gotten the opportunity to engage with Dr. Sujatha Ross, who provides a lot of leadership regarding EDI in the university. people like Jenna Ives, even the president of the university, who has shown a lot of initiative in highlighting equity, diversity, and inclusion, as well as deans of different faculties. A couple of years ago, FGSR decided to, as a result of enhancing equity, diversity, and inclusion, they reached out to students to see if students were interested in developing a student group that speaks to equity, diversity, and inclusion. And that was part of how what is now known as the BIPOC Graduate Students Association came into being. And so having championship or having champions who are leaders has been very helpful in promoting equity, diversity, and inclusion at the University of Regina. But what I have also noticed is, in terms of promoting EDI, is different workshops where experts on EDI are invited to come and interact and speak about EDI initiatives. I've seen that quite a bit here at the University of Regina. So I would say these two main resources, having people in influential positions who can champion EDI initiatives, and having programs that are specifically dedicated to EDI initiatives, I think are noteworthy. So in 2022, I co-founded the BIPOC Graduate Students Association with 2 other graduate students. And BIPOC Graduate Students Association is, the main vision is basically to create, or the mission is to create platforms for students who identify as Black, Indigenous, or people of color to be able to thrive through their academic journeys, professional development, and beyond, to be able to be put in spaces where they can engage with experts in their fields, where they can network, where they can get information more easily, and where they could share some of their challenges and also get support from people who might either be facing similar challenges or people who are experts in helping them navigate through those challenges. So that has been the mission of the BIPOC Graduate Students Association. And we have had over time, we've put up a number of networking events, a number of educational events, and we're also in the process of trying to develop a mentorship program where we can pair up BIPOC students with BIPOC faculty or people in industry who also identify as BIPOC, to help them navigate through their both academic and career journeys. So at the moment, I am one of the executives of the BIPOC Graduate Students Association, and we have successfully helped a lot of BIPOC graduate students to network with faculty, with people in industry. We have what is now come to known as our annual wine and cake event, where we invite several people in industries, directors, CEOs of companies, or directors in government institutions, a variety of industry people, to meet and network with graduate students. And what that does is graduate students are able to share with them what their goal is, to be able to pick their brain on how to navigate themselves towards achieving those goals, whether it has to do with getting a GPA, whether it has to do with how to position yourself in order to apply for certain scholarships. Because particularly for BIPOC graduate students who are international students, some of the challenges they face is a knowledge gap. And so if one doesn't know that volunteering for A, B, and C could help advance my scholarship application, you don't know what you don't know. And so by putting them in a position where they're able to interact with professionals in different fields, they're able to get this information. And we've had feedback from a lot of graduate students who found value in those events and them getting to network, who found value in continuing certain relationships that they started from the events that we've put up. We also set up a WhatsApp group where we share information not only about events that BIPOC group is planning, but we share job opportunities. We share other opportunities, other events that we think could be of value to these students for them to take advantage of. So I'll start with the Academic Research Made Simple podcast. There have been several BIPOC students and even some faculty, both within the University of Regina and outside of the University of Regina, who have expressed their appreciation for some of the research that is being conducted by racialized students and racialized faculty over here. And so part of a researcher's goal is knowledge translation, knowledge dissemination. So even for some student researchers who are conducting thesis or dissertations here at the University of Regina, they saw inspiration in that they could get a platform like that where they could speak about their research, because what is research if people don't know about it, right? And to have a platform where they can disseminate or talk about it in a way that can be easily understood by a wider group of people. And so I've had other graduate students reach out to me to ask for an opportunity to be able to talk about their research through the lens of a podcast for subsequent podcast videos that I'm going to be shooting. And so that has been of value to them, but that has also been the specific research that is being conducted. The knowledge about it has also been of value to the broader audience that have tuned in to hear about some of the examples of research that is being conducted is how the lived experiences of Black children are different from other groups of people within the public school system, how lie detection and the process of lie detection negatively affects Black people as opposed to other groups of people. There were also research on SMRs. SMRs are small modular reactors, but it's a Black researcher, student researcher conducting research on SMRs. And so for different groups of racialized people, you'll have, let's say, kids, 10 to 15-year-old kids who might see that, might never have heard of SMRs before, who would be like, okay, this is very interesting, I want to know more. And then start asking questions and also determine within themselves that if someone that looks like me is able to conduct this groundbreaking research, I could also do it. And so that has been of value, and the appreciation for it is even right there in some of the comments right on the YouTube page, and how people appreciated the different research that is being conducted. So that has been of value there as well. The networking that has happened, because people have reached out to me, can you please connect me with this researcher or that researcher? I have some more questions for them, or I'd like to collaborate with them. And that has also happened. So that has been of value there as well. So these are some of examples regarding the ARMS podcast. Now with the BIPOC Graduate Students Association, there have been several students who have had the opportunity to apply to some of the jobs that we've posted and have been hired. And so we created a conduit where BIPOC graduate students could easily access certain information where they otherwise might not have heard about and not have gotten that opportunity. So we've created value there. We've also created value in terms of the relationships, the professional relationships, academic relationships that different students have formed as a result of being a part of the BIPOC group. So there has been value in those cases. So when it comes to equity, diversity, and inclusion, one of the first things I think about in terms of what else can be done, and I'm going to say this because of a lot of feedback that I get, more EDI scholarships for students, both on the undergraduate level and the graduate level, because that seems to be one of the biggest challenges to many students. And so more EDI scholarships that are available would help a lot of students. And there could also be more training sessions, but training sessions not necessarily for people who fall under the EDI category alone, but for everybody to get more sensitization to some of maybe existing biases that people don't realize, or understanding some of the lived experiences or challenges for racialized students or indigenous students. And so more information sessions, both on a university level and on a faculty level, could help the broader group be more understanding, mindful, and empathetic to the lived experiences of others that do not fall within their group of people. So that is an example of what more can be done. In terms of challenges, it's sort of taking from what I've described as what more can be done. There's always financial challenges within different groups of people that fall under equity, diversity, and inclusion. There's also challenges with implicit bias, sometimes with certain students feeling that they're being treated differently because of the color of their skin or because of a particular group they fall within. And so these are challenges that hopefully with more education, with more training on different levels. So faculty have to be trained, staff have to be trained, students have to be trained, other stakeholders have to be trained, service providers have to be trained, because these are all groups of people that students interact with on a regular basis. So I would say those are some examples of challenges and some of the ways that it can be improved or made better. As much as possible, be kind, be empathetic, and try to know more and learn more. I'd also add that be mindful of the voice you have to speak up about things that you know and believe are not right, to speak up about injustices, not just for yourself, but for others who might not be able to speak up for themselves. There's one quote that I'm particularly a fan of that was given by one of the former presidents of the United States, Barack Obama, that says, "One voice can change a room, and if one voice can change a room, it can change a city. And if it can change a city, it can change a nation. And if it can change a nation, it can change the world." So one voice, your voice, can potentially change the world. Thank you.